Hey, welcome everybody. This is What's Going On. Today my guests are Priest, we call him Tiny, Hang Time from RWC. So guys, you're both wrestlers. You do security for RWC.
Right.
So how's that come about? How do you?
Well, basically, the way I got in is I actually went to a show when I first got to see Hang Time, got to see Eddie, and I just actually followed him around a couple shows, and I approached Eddie about getting into the business. And so, with me, they didn't have a regular security team. So, I kind of like presented that to him. And, I donned the black suit, the shirt, earpiece, all that good stuff. And, just basically set the bar for what they wanted. You got to know what they want. You got to have the look. You got to be presentable with the look. And also, be where you're approachable to fans, but also know that you can't cross this line.
Right, right. So now you're in training.
Yeah, I'm in
correct?
training. Right.
Okay. So what's the process of training?
Basically, the process of training is to get you to where you know what you're doing, where you're taking care of the person that you're in the ring with, and they're taking care of you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Basically, you don't get in there. What you see on TV, you can throw that out the window.
Absolutely.
You got to basically know what you're doing when you're in there, and training prepares you for you to go out and have a good match.
So who's training you?
I'm trained by Hang Time and Eddie.
Okay.
We have people that's senior to us. Like Hector. He comes in sometimes. He's got a busy schedule. He does too. So when they get in there and they actually can go one-on-one with you and get your hands on, better appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you're training Tiny, and so
True.
what's that like?
Well, like anybody else, the thing with training is everybody has habits that you got to get them out of. Because the hardest part about training is falling.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that. My philosophy to that is when you was a little baby and you was playing with mom's VCR and all that stuff, you would always touch, and then when you would fall, you would always reach back with your arms to catch yourself on the floor. So now you got this grown man telling you can't do that. You got to hit your back, not your arms, because now if you fall back, you reach for your arms, first thing you do is you tear everything, your triceps and everything up. So we try to avoid that. To me, and it's like I tell everybody, once you get past the fall, the rest will come easily. It's still difficult, but it'll come easily. Once you get past the fall, everything else is self-explanatory.
Okay. So how did you get into wrestling? What's the story behind that?
My mother.
That's not something you hear every day.
No, I think it was my mother. I'll be honest with you. I think I was a fan of wrestling when I was in my mom's womb.
Oh, okay.
She might have been in the hospital giving birth watching Ric Flair chop somebody or something. I don't know. It's just when I first saw it, I got hooked. Couldn't tell me nothing. I remember I used to cut out my little cardboard belt, put aluminum foil on it, pull my socks up to my knees, run around the house in my underwear, and just jump on the pillow.
Right.
Couldn't tell me nothing. And my mom said, boy, you're crazy. But you're going to be a wrestler, I guess. That's what you want to do. And Lord behold, look what happened.
There you go. Very cool.
And I've been doing it ever since then.
Okay. When did you break into the business officially?
I don't think you got enough tape for that because that was like so long ago. Oh, God, that was so long ago. I'm going to say 2000 or 2001.
Okay. So who was your trainer? How did you come about? How did you move up the ranks to becoming a trainer yourself?
I actually went to a wrestling school that was here in Fayetteville. And it didn't stay open long, but I learned some stuff there. I really did. But I felt like there was a part where I wasn't learning it no more.
Okay.
And I just felt like me and the trainer there, and I'm not gonna talk bad about the trainer. When I first met him, I mean, he was just, to me, it was just like, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. But then as I was learning more, I saw there were some things that he was doing I just could not do. So I felt like when I peaked out where I was at, because when I first got in wrestling, I was probably 175 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
I mean, so, you know, doing all the crazy stuff just wasn't going to happen. My body was too fragile for it. So that was where he kind of pushed me to doing the high flying stuff. And I got comfortable with it, even though I'm afraid of heights. Believe it or not, I got comfortable with it. But then there were certain things I just felt like I wasn't learning. So I ventured out, and in that process, I met Nightstick Eddie Brown. And it just went from there. He started showing me stuff. He actually got me on the route going to Canada, where we would wrestle in Canada twice a year.
Oh, very cool.
And from there, I mean, I just started picking up stuff, and then a couple of guys said, you should start helping people learn, because there's a way you put it that makes it where it's understandable to where somebody else says it and they like, I don't understand. And it just went from there. And then in that process, Eddie was already running shows. I think it was like Carolina All Pro Wrestling. And then I came aboard full-fledged, and Ring Wars Carolina was invented, and we've been off to the races ever since.
Very cool. So you're one of the founders of Ring Wars.
I would say yes and no. I would say think of it as a football proposition. Eddie would be the head coach. I'd be the quarterback.
Okay.
So it's like when I have ideas, I throw them at him. When he's got ideas, he throws them at me. If I can do the play, then we can go with it. So I give more credit to Eddie with the Ring Wars Carolina, but I mean, I've put my share into it, but overall, I would put that with Eddie.
Very cool.
That's one thing I would never, I always feel when somebody does it, you should never take away the prop or the respect that they set the ground stones for it. So he put it in, but he also had me along where it wasn't going to fail. So, I mean, that's probably the best thing to say.
Okay, I got you. All right, so with training Tiny, what has been some of the mistakes that you're seeing him make?
Not showing up to practice.
Not showing up.
The one thing about practice, and Tiny can vouch for it, is it's repetition. You can't go like 2 days in a row and then miss 3 days in a row
Right.
and then come back in. Because, I mean, you know, and it's not knocking him. You know, I don't never knock anybody, because when you have a reason, you have a reason. I only go with what you tell me. But the thing is, it's like muscle memory. You got to beat it in the muscle to memorize what you're doing. So it's like, you could probably throw the nicest clothesline in the world, but if you can't bump off the clothesline, we got a problem. It's like it all transitions to each other, and that's the biggest thing. But I mean, it's in everybody's defense and in Tiny's defense, you know, it takes a lot to practice. I mean, you know, you work a full day of work, and then you come to train, and it's like you're tired, you're weary, you know, you ready to eat. And there's been times, you know, I've had guys come to practice that haven't ate. I mean, I admire that, but it scares me, because it's like you still got to eat, but I admire the fact they're still coming to get better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's you got to be understanding to it, and I'm really understanding. I mean, golly, Tony, we've heard excuses left and right.
Oh, yeah.
I heard one guy, man, tell me his cat died 9 times, so I figured the cat had 9 lives, because he kept, you know, hey, hang time, I ain't gonna make it, man, my cat died. I was like, which one, man? That same one. I said, I understand, you know, and I just go with it, because I mean, you know, you can't make somebody want to do wrestling.
Right.
It's in your heart. It's your passion. I mean, it's like you with video. I mean, if you just stand still with that little VHS that you put the big tape in, and that's where you stand, then that's where you stand.
We can
But
see
you
what year frame he grew up.
exactly. So you know, as you know, you got to put the money and the time to better yourself with it.
Right.
And it's like I said, that's why a lot of people don't understand, like with studio work, with behind the scenes stuff. People just see what they see on TV, and they're like, man, I'm gonna do this, and then
Yeah.
they get in that ring and they think it's a trampoline, and I already can tell in their eyes. Tiny can vouch. I watch your body language. Your body language tells me a lot about you. I see the excitement, but I also see the fear.
Right.
And then I ask you, you okay? You afraid? You nervous?
Right.
I'm excited. But then when you take that first fall, I think the reality hits you that this is not a mattress and this is not a trampoline.
Right.
You know, okay, you know, people say wrestling is that F word. But then when they get in that ring, they see a whole different responsibility that comes with it. And it's like, what have I gotten into?
Right.
And
Bring them to chop class.
I've seen many come, I've seen many leave.
From
Right.
Chop class by itself. I mean, you know, that to me, I've always said, Ric Flair told me that one time. He said the easiest way to break somebody from saying the F word is just tell them to take their shirt off and slap them on their chest as hard as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
I said, ooh. So he chopped me one time, just so I can get the transition of what it was. I never knew it was the F word. I just felt like it was just like dancing, just a physical ballet, as I call it. And it's like if you're in the wrong place, bad things happen.
Yeah.
People just don't understand, you know. You just don't get in there. What you see on TV is fine. They give you 10 minutes. But the hours that they have to put in to get that is what a lot of people don't see.
Exactly.
That behind the scenes stuff. And that's why I tell people, you know, a DJ, you know, for example, you go to a DJ, anybody can burn a CD. It doesn't mean you're a DJ for a radio station.
Right.
People don't understand that. They just say, oh, I can do this. And then when they see what goes into it, I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know. I mean, you know, that ring is not light.
No.
People
no.
think that ring just is what it is, you know. You just see the final market of it. You see the setup of it.
Yeah.
You don't see what it's like when you got there a few hours earlier for all that stuff to go up. So yeah, I mean, as a trainer and a promoter, I mean, there's a lot of things I see and a lot of things I tell people that they don't understand.
Right.
And that's why I say you just need to come.
Yeah.
Once you come and you see it from the ground up, you know. 'Cause
That's one thing, like, you know, you talk about the ring. You know, I've been there for setups. There's no spring underneath this one.
No.
So, some rings do have the spring,
yes.
but this one does not. But when you hear that hit,
Yeah,
that's a real hit.
That's a solid hit. And I mean, a lot of people don't understand. There's no way to prevent it from hurting. I
Right.
mean, if you stump your big toe, it hurts.
Yeah.
So when you fall, it still hurts. But it's like it doesn't hurt as bad as it possibly could if you learn the proper way to fall.
True.
People just don't understand that part.
Now, with your training, what has been the biggest obstacle for you? I mean, you've been training for a little while now.
I've been training for a little while. I think you never stop learning.
Right.
They'll tell you that, and you'll see it every day. You got people that's been in the business for years, like him, and you got Night Stick, and they've been doing this for years, and they'll tell you never stop learning. As far as we go, you know, they want to teach us the basic. My hang up right now is the arm drag,
Okay.
but I'm gonna unhang that hang up. So, you know, right now, you know, I had a situation with my mom being sick, so I stayed home with her. She's just getting where she can get up and walk and go to the bathroom on her own.
Right.
So, you know, this here for me has been like an opportunity. It's basically been an opportunity to be around wrestling, to be a part of wrestling. You know, I'm glad that, you know, Tony and Nightstick gave me the opportunity to be Tiny, because a lot of people, when they come to the shows, they come to see Hang Time, they come to see Nightstick, but they're like, where's Tiny? You know, and when you get into that position to where people are looking for you, you know what I mean, and you're just security. I'm the head security guard though.
You doing something right.
You know what I mean? So I love it. You know what I mean? I'm there for the people, because that's what the show is about. If you don't have anybody in your seats, what is the show?
Yeah, exactly. You're
You know?
absolutely right.
And like he was saying, the technical part, what they do behind the scenes, you wrestle, and plus you have to go and take care of this and that behind the scenes, stuff being set up, stuff being connected right. I mean, who's gonna know who you are if the sound system ain't working?
That's right.
You know, what music are you gonna have if it's not hooked up?
Right.
So, you know, it's more to the business than just watching people wrestle.
You know, yeah, and I mean, you go back to, you know, the setup process and stuff like that. And I have to say, like, I have to give credit for Ring Wars. Ring Wars Carolina, y'all have, like, one of the smoothest setups. I mean, y'all really do. I mean, things go wrong in every show.
Yes.
Every show, there's something that goes wrong. But Eddie, you know, he kind of just says, fix it. He doesn't care that it's wrong. he says, fix it. Get us through it, and we'll fix it as we're going.
Yep.
Hang time, you're the same way. I mean, there's been issues come up, and you're just pretty much one of those, let it just roll off the shoulder. Okay, find the alternative.
Yep.
You can't, and I guess that's the business itself. You can't, if something goes wrong, you got to go with it.
Yeah. Plan A is the show itself.
Right.
Plan B is when something goes wrong that you got to fix
Absolutely.
for Plan A to still go through.
Right.
Because overall, the show must go on. That's just a very popular term in the circus. Anything, the show must go on. People don't care. People don't care that you got a flat tire. People don't care that you got a headache. These people take time off work or look forward to a wrestling show, and then you come up with this little crabby excuse. They don't want to hear that.
Right.
It's kind of like, it's like you buy a car from this guy, but then when he sells you a bad car, you'll never go back to him. So if we sell them a bad product, they're not going to come back.
Right.
So we got to sell. Everything's got to be on point. Everything's got to be just right. There's no mess ups. Can't be no mess ups. When you mess up, that's when you messed up.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you messed up, you've lost up. So it means somebody's going to go somewhere else. The easiest way to think about it is, how many movie cinemas is in Fayetteville? If this one movie cinema is not giving you a clean movie cinema to go to, you're going to go somewhere else.
Right.
So if we don't give them a good product for wrestling, they're going to go somewhere else. That's that part that a lot of people don't understand. It could be stressful. I tell anybody it can be very stressful. I mean, that's why I said, you got 10 employees, you got 10 different attitudes, but you can't cater to them. You got to lay it all down. Somebody's got to be that bad guy.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, sometimes that's me.